The rom-com is officially dead. The Devil Wears Prada 2 is about Miranda Priestly and her magazine Runway, who are dealing with a PR issue and have to recruit Andrea Sachs back to run their features department to put a positive spin on things. The film at times is technophobic and is an economic fear-mongering allegory about the downfall of business due to technological advancements such as AI. It is diversity and political correctness on steroids, and they cover all their bases. The chemistry is forced and unrealistic, and white male roles have been reduced to placeholders as the unwanted boyfriends rather than the romantic leads. It suddenly becomes a Lady Gaga video out of nowhere, then ends up becoming a film about a hostile takeover, and alarmingly they casually joke about somebody's misuse and abuse of Ozempic for their weight loss goals, considering right now it is becoming an epidemic and a major topic of conversation. In the 20 years since the first film, none of the characters have grown. So at the start of the film, we see Andrea, or Andy, played by Anne Hathaway, getting ready for an awards dinner, and she is there as a journalist, as since the first film, after leaving Runway, she got a job working for a newspaper, and since then has been a travelling journalist and been chasing stories left and right. Been recognised for her work, and she has been sort of nominated for this award for journalism, and so she goes to the award show and she's there with her colleagues at the table, and she actually wins the award. And just before her name gets called out, her entire table gets fired via text. This prompts her to change her speech when she accepts the award and has a passionate speech about why journalism matters. So then she is out on the street and has to look for a new job. And this is where Runway and Irv, who is the owner of Runway, is looking for somebody to help put a positive spin on their current PR problem that Miranda Priestly has found herself in. And so the video of Andy's speech has become viral and everybody loves what she had to say about it. And so this brings her to Irv's radar, who's kind of like a Rupert Murdoch sort of character who runs a multimedia sort of company. And so he hires Andy. She creates these stories and puts positive spin on the company, and the problem gets solved rather quite quickly. And after a while, people sort of forget about their PR issue, which was quite big. And suddenly it also becomes a bit of a corporate takeover. And so together with Miranda Priestly, Andy and Nigel, they have to secure the company and stop it from being taken over. So there are a lot of things that are wrong with this film, chief of which is the first film. The first film had a lot of charm and humour, and it was a very human and grounded story about a person who is trying to figure things out and trying to find what it is to be in the fashion industry and how to work around it and how to think on your feet and use your initiative, work your way up and try and sort of connect with your overbearing bosses and all that sort of stuff. Whereas this one just feels like a corporate shell of what the film used to be, and dealt with very different subject matters and talking about things like advancements in technology and AI and how it's all going to take over the world and it's going to ruin everything. And it just felt also like a very safe topic of conversation as well, because it is very much on the radar on most people's minds at the minute. And so it just lacks a lot of imagination from the writer's point of view. And also it deals with complicated and tough subjects to talk about and just laughs them off like a casual joke. And what really alarmed me was how casually they just brushed over somebody's abuse of Ozempic as just like, oh, ha, 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 ha. It really alarming, because right now it is being abused more and more and more, and you can see it in the newspapers and in the Hollywood press, and just seeing how transformed some of these looks and some of these bodies are now looking compared to a few years back. And it is really worrying, and they just brush over it like it's just a joke. It shouldn't be treated as a joke, and people are using and abusing this sort of stuff because they haven't had the proper education in terms of how to create a body through health and fitness and healthy eating and good habits. And so it's really, really quite a tough subject. And I'm kind of biased because I'm a fitness instructor and I promote health and fitness, healthy dieting and eating good nutrition and doing it all through that way naturally. And so it is really quite alarming how they joke about that sort of stuff. And I also felt like the director didn't really know what kind of story he wanted to tell either. At first, it becomes something about the world of business and how it's all being taken over by technology. Then it becomes a Lady Gaga music video just out of nowhere. And then all of a sudden it becomes a corporate takeover, how this media conglomerate is going to take over the magazine and bring it into the modern audience and all that sort of malarkey. And you're just sitting there and you're like, oh, I just want to see a guy fall in love with a girl and get together at the end of the film and live happily ever after. And that's it. That's all I want from a romantic comedy. Nothing too complicated. That's all I want. Keep it simple. That's all I ask. It's not hard. And also, there was a few characters missing from the original film, like chief of which, Adrian Grenier, who played her boyfriend in the first film, aka Vinny Chase from Entourage, who may possibly know, and he's not in it. Where's Vinny Chase? Come on. And he was the one that really sort of grounded Andrea's character in the first film and wheeled her back into a sense of reality. When she did start to improve, she started to take on some of the characteristics of the kinds of people that worked in the fashion industry. And so she become very sort of modelly and flamboyant and wore the outfits and sort of got lost in that role. And he was the sort of grounding force that brought her back to reality. And so it was kind of like her emotional anchor. And he's gone. He's not there anymore. And you're just sitting there like, what happened? They don't even mention him in the film. And just so many things that are just absolutely wrong about this film. And they had a missed opportunity here to really sort of lean into the nostalgic aspects of the original, and they could have done something vastly different, and it's just so bad. So, I mean, the cinema screen I went to, it was packed. There was loads of people there, and it was going to be a successful film. And like, what do I know? I don't know nothing about film or TV shows or how they're made or why they make these certain decisions and things like that. I'm just a keen observer, and it was packed. Anyway, yeah, thank you very much for watching this video. Please remember to like and subscribe to my channel, and I shall see you in the next video.